They say war reveals true heroes. But some stories are so daring, they seem almost impossible to believe. In the chaos of battle, one tank and one soldier faced a choice no manual could prepare him for. Every second became a test of courage, every decision a gamble with death. What you are about to witness is a story of bravery unlike any other. By March 1945, German towns lay in ruins, streets blocked with rubble and broken stone, silent witnesses to months of fierce fighting. The German army was growing weaker and more exhausted, severely outnumbered at every turn, yet still capable of fierce, determined resistance. Through the cobblestone streets, American infantry moved with caution, while German defenders fought for every meter of ground. Combat here was chaotic and unforgiving. Tank columns advanced through narrow roads, while infantry searched every window, every doorway. Behind shattered walls and piles of rubble, German soldiers waited in tense silence, watching the streets as the American advance drew closer. For the soldiers on both sides, every movement carried risk. A single shot or a moment of hesitation could mean the difference between survival and death. Early in 1945, American forces pushed deeper into Germany, facing increasingly desperate resistance from a collapsing Third Reich. The 41st American Tank Battalion advanced across the German border. As part of the Allied drive into the heart of Germany, advancing town by town. The 11th Armored Division was moving through enemy territory and had received orders to reconnoiter the roads near the small town of Dormoschel. The countryside of Western Germany had become a vast battlefield, where American armor rolled forward through sporadic resistance. The war in Europe was entering its final, desperate phase. The German army, battered and retreating, still fought with fierce determination. Herbert Henry Burr's incredible story began on the morning of January 15, 1945, unfolding across a gray and battered German landscape. Intelligence was crucial at this point. The American forces needed to know which routes could safely carry their heavy armor as they advanced toward the Rhine. Company C was tasked with scouting the narrow roads leading to Dormoschel, knowing that every intersection and side street could conceal enemy forces. That morning, Sergeant Burr climbed into his tank as the bow gunner, squeezing into the cramped hull where he manned the forward machine gun. The platoon sergeant commanded the vehicle, and the rest of the crew took their stations: the driver, the loader, the turret gunner. Their Sherman tank rumbled into Dormoschel, carefully surveying and mapping the narrow cobbled streets, while staying alert for any hidden enemy presence. The interior was tight, and inside the tank, the crew had to shout over the constant roar of the engine, relying on the intercom to be heard. They could see only through narrow vision slits, and moved cautiously through the streets, aware that armed, hidden German forces could be anywhere. From hidden positions among the rubble, German soldiers spotted the advancing Americans, peering from windows, doorways, and broken walls. Then a German soldier made his move. He fired a Panzerfaust anti-tank rocket, striking the tank's side with tremendous force. In that instant, everything changed. The carefully organized system of the tank crew disintegrated into chaos and survival instinct. The tank stopped immediately. The explosion rattled the confined space, hitting the platoon sergeant with the blast's full force. The affected sergeant needed immediate evacuation, so the crew made a split-second decision. They bailed out, following standard procedure. But Herbert Burr remained inside. His ears rang from the blast, but he was unharmed. As the others escaped, Burr realized he was alone in the tank. He knew the mission wasn't over. Reconnaissance in Dermarshall was ongoing, and commanders were waiting for information that would move thousands of men and vehicles. The tank was still operational, so he climbed back into the driver's seat, dropped it into gear, and rumbled forward. This time alone. He was operating purely on determination and training now. Driving a multi-ton weapon system into enemy territory with no crew to man the guns. He guided the tank deeper into Dermarshall, through the damaged buildings, but could only see a few meters ahead clearly through the driver's vision blocks. Without warning, he slammed on the brakes and found himself staring at an 88mm anti-tank gun at point-blank range. The German 88 was one of the most feared weapons. Originally, an anti-aircraft gun, it proved devastatingly effective against armored vehicles. At the same moment, German soldiers spotted the Sherman tank and immediately alerted the 88mm anti-tank gun crew to prepare for firing. He edged the tank closer to get a better look at the enemy positions directly ahead, while German soldiers with submachine guns were already firing at him. Instead of trying to reverse, instead of attempting to bail out and save himself, he pressed his foot down on the accelerator. The German crew scattered in all directions, abandoning their positions in sheer panic as the American tank smashed through and demolished their weapon. The steel tracks crushed the weapon beneath them, while German soldiers dove for cover in nearby houses, scrambling to set up new positions. Having lost their anti-tank gun, they could only take cover in nearby buildings, striking from there while waiting for heavy armor support to arrive very soon. But he was not finished. Ahead on the road, a large truck drew his attention, likely a German military transport. With the same aggressive determination, Burr maneuvered his tank sharply around the corner, closing in fast, and caught the vehicle from behind. The truck tried to accelerate away, but it was too late. The tank crushed the truck as the German officer jumped clear just in time. The collision was tremendous. Burr felt the impact reverberate through the tank's suspension as it climbed over the truck, crushing it, and continued forward. Burr then quickly wheeled the lumbering tank through the narrow German streets, turned it back toward friendly lines, and began the tense journey out of Dermarshall. The tank rumbled back through the town, finally reaching American positions, confident the mission had been successfully completed for the day. When Burr finally brought the vehicle to a halt, he realized something troubling. His entire tank crew had still not returned and was most likely trapped. When the crew abandoned the tank, leaving Burr alone, nearby German units spotted them and forced them to hide inside a ruined building. Realizing this, he turned the tank back toward where his crew had bailed out, this time with a gunner, and they moved swiftly into the streets. Although they returned quickly to the spot, it still took some time before they could finally locate exactly where their scattered crew members were hiding. The trapped crew was still pinned under a relentless hail of bullets from the Germans. But at last, they spotted the Sherman tank approaching in time. The Sherman tank immediately unleashed heavy fire on the German positions, blasting away to cover the trapped crew members. The German soldiers fell back into nearby buildings for cover, and the tank crew immediately moved quickly forward through the rubble toward the Sherman for rescue. As the Germans took cover, the crew quickly climbed into the Sherman one by one and headed back toward American lines without further enemy resistance. But the Germans had received heavy armor reinforcements. And on the return route, a Panther tank suddenly opened fire directly on the approaching Sherman. Fortunately, the shell struck a nearby building harmlessly, causing no serious damage, and they were able to continue their withdrawal safely, changing direction and taking a different route. The Sherman pushed beyond the edge of the town, leaving the fighting behind as it finally reached the American positions. In the accounting that followed, the action near Dermoschel was documented, and the full measure of what Staff Sergeant Herbert Burr had accomplished became clear. 5 months later, on August 30th, 1945, Staff Sergeant Herbert H. Burr received the Medal of Honor, the highest U.S. military decoration. The citation praised his extraordinary courage, his skill and fearless resolve, and his bold actions against overwhelming odds. He also received the Distinguished Service Cross, making him one of the rare soldiers honored with both of America's highest military decorations for actions in World War II. When the war ended, Herbert Burr left the Army and returned to civilian life in Missouri, carrying with him the memories of that March day in Germany. He lived a full and meaningful life in the decades that followed, surrounded by family, friends, and the quiet pride of his accomplishments. And when he died on February 8, 1990, at the age of 69, he was laid to rest in Mount Washington Cemetery in Independence, Missouri. The story of his actions that day in Dermoschel stands as a testament to the extraordinary courage that ordinary men can summon when circumstances demand it. Thank you for watching and spending these moments with us. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe for more remarkable World War II stories.